A life of alignment and authenticity can only happen if you are putting yourself first. When you are somebody that considers yourself as a nurturer or a caregiver or an empath, we kind of adopt this identity of being self-sacrificing. And it's kind of interesting because although I do believe that people can have those traits naturally, I also feel like a lot of it is conditioned. We're rewarded for this type of behavior from a very young age, and we kind of adopt those traits and kind of decide, like, yes, that's who I am. Something that we can get caught up in when we are wanting to help other people or we define ourselves, with these traits is that we lose ourselves in the role, right? We lose our identity and we lose parts of ourselves because we are constantly putting other people's needs before our own. Welcome back to my channel. I help women start living their lives for themselves again. On this channel, we discuss all things self-discovery, healing the feminine, and becoming the best version of ourselves. So if that's something that you're interested in, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and let's get on to the video. So many of us are exhausted from being everything for everyone, and also feeling like we spend so much time like helping other people feel seen, and having them and helping them in this aspect, and there's not that level of reciprocity. And I talk a lot about reciprocity on my channel because I feel like it's very important when it comes to having genuine connections with other people. And when there's not that level of reciprocity in relationships, it can become exhausting to the people that are always there for others, and the same can't be said for the other people in the relationship, right? And so when it comes to starting to put yourself first, it's really crucial when you're wanting to start living your life authentically, because if we're not, then we're going to be having a lot of relationships that are not genuine and not authentic. And I know for a lot of us, it's kind of hard to start putting ourselves first. It may seem foreign when, we're naturally wanting to take care of the other people around us, because we care, we love the people around us, and that's how we may show our love. Maybe our love language is acts of service. But if you are constantly giving and never receiving, you're going to be exhausted. And I know there may be some resistance to this. Like, I don't have time to be giving to myself. I already have such a full plate. Where am I going to have time for myself between all of the things that I have to do in my day-to-day life? But that's exactly why it is so important to put yourself first, because a lot of the times the caregiver in us, as much as we love helping other people, we can start feeling resentful and angry and bitter that we show up for people in so many ways. We're able to determine, decipher what somebody is feeling, try to be of service, but then get angry when people don't do that to us. So I'm going to use that whole analogy thing with the plane. I know it's like so used, but whenever the airplane, when the masks come down, they say put your mask on before you help other people put their masks on, right? And that's kind of the whole premise of this video, is really learning to put yourself first in all aspects of your life. And that's not to say that you're not going to take other people into consideration, but when you are self-abandoning or putting everybody else's wants and needs before your own, you're constantly going to be feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and tired. And a lot of us may really struggle with putting our needs first. We may consider it as being selfish because maybe that's how you were raised growing up, that caring for yourself is selfish, but it's really not. It's actually one of the best things that you can do for yourself and for the people around you. Because when you start putting yourself first, it starts to create a domino effect in what you feel like you are worthy of or are deserving of. Because how can you create a life that is authentic to you if you are not willing to put yourself first, to figure out what your needs are, what it is that you like, what it is that you're looking for in a relationship, what you want your life to look like? How can you do that if you are constantly ignoring your own needs? Like, how can you create this authentic life if you don't give yourself that time of day. Like, if you're not giving yourself that time of day, then the energy that you're giving off is, I am not important. And so the people around you are going to have that same mentality towards you. She doesn't care about herself. She's not important. You have to be conscious of the way that you are showing up in the world and the perception that you are giving other people of how to treat you, what you're going to allow in your life. So if you have low self-worth, you're teaching other people, like, this girl doesn't respect herself, or this person really gets their validation from doing things for other people. It's just a lot easier for people to take advantage of you. And I do feel like sometimes when you are kind of focused on everybody externally from you and not focusing on yourself, it's a way for you to not face yourself and what you are unhappy with in your life. The only way that you're going to be able to create that authentic life is for you to start choosing yourself. In every aspect that you have, in what you allow in your life, you're going to have to choose yourself, and you're constantly going to be tested and seeing if you will choose yourself, because so often we will abandon ourselves to feel love, even though the love may not be genuine, to feel accepted, again, may not be genuine, to fit in, to make other people happy. And then we wonder why we feel so unfulfilled or so lonely when we've literally abandoned ourselves to just make everybody else happy. So in order to start living an authentic life, you're going to have to start choosing yourself. So here are 5 ways that you can start choosing yourself first. Number 1, block out time for yourself. It can be in the morning, it can be in the evening, it can be in the middle of the day. Figure out where in the day is where you're going to give yourself quality time to do whatever it is that you need to do. If it's first thing in the morning, create a morning routine for yourself to help you regulate your nervous system. If it's in the evening, just figure it out. Have time for yourself where you're going to focus on what it is that you're wanting to work on within yourself. And sometimes that's just learning how to best support yourself in different situations. If you notice yourself getting anxious or overwhelmed, what can you do to help you regulate your nervous system? Just figure out ways in which you can show up for yourself in a way that's going to support you in whatever it is that's going on in life in that moment. Number 2, take care of your appearance. How you show up in your appearance will affect how people treat you, and that's just the truth, whether we like it or not. It's like that saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. People will unfortunately judge you and treat you according to how you take care of yourself. So I'm not saying put on a full beat and go out there and that's the only way there is. You have to figure out what it is that makes you feel good about yourself, because when you look good, you feel good, you show up in a different way. The energy that you give off is more confident. So it can be as simple as just grooming yourself, washing your face, brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, and putting on regular clothes. If you like to do your makeup, do your makeup. Figure out what it is that makes you feel good and present yourself in that way for yourself, and you will see how other people will treat you differently when you show them that you respect yourself enough to groom yourself on a daily basis. And listen, we can all have our lazy days, but I would keep the lazy day outfits for the house. And then if you're going to leave the house, just put some effort in making yourself feel good. This is for you. Yes, other people may judge you based off of your appearance, but it's more for you to feel good about yourself. Number 3, invest in your mental health. I feel like for those of us who are so used to holding space for other people, it can be really hard for us to do the same for ourselves. But it's really crucial for us to have someone to hold space for us as we are working towards creating those more genuine relationships, because you are just as important as anybody else in your life. And you may not feel that way, and that's even more why it's more important to seek help in your ways of thinking, any blocks that you have, any patterns or habits you've developed. You need someone outside of you to help you move past those things so that you can start healing from them and showing up in a way where you've learned that it's actually safe to be authentic. And those that don't receive you, they're not your people, and that's okay. So getting therapy if you are stuck somewhere and you really need help processing your emotions because it keeps coming up for you. Getting a life coach if you feel like you just need some accountability in your life and you need help moving forward and creating a new way of being. Learning how to support yourself and regulate your nervous system. I just feel like it's so easy for us to numb ourselves and just not put any effort into ourselves. And our mental health is so important, and you are worthy of receiving help in processing different things that come up in your life. Number 4, for those of us who are caregivers, we may not realize it because we consider ourselves as nurturing. We are really living in our masculine, right? Because we're fixing other people's problems. We're constantly doing, planning. Those are all very masculine traits. So one of the best things that you can do for yourself is to plan time to just be. And this may be something that you have a hard time with if you did not see women in your life growing up resting, right? It's something that you have to learn how to do. And listen, I had to do a lot of inner work and healing for myself on this aspect because I felt like I always had to be productive in my life, right? This was kind of the conditioning that I had growing up, and it's something that I adopted and really went hard in the paint for, right? And nothing ever felt good enough. There was always stuff to do. And if I didn't have what I had planned out to be done, I would really beat myself up for it. And you would wonder why I was constantly feeling jaded and tired and angry, right? Because I did not allow myself to rest. So even when I rested, I had a hard time because my mind was racing a lot about how, just the negative thing, self-talk. You're being lazy, get up and do something, just all of these thoughts. I really had to work and heal these parts of myself. But resting is crucial for not only regulating your nervous system, but just creating joy in your life, right? You can do something for the sake of just doing something. Like, and I know I said doing, that's masculine, but like it's coming from a place of joy. There's no goal in mind. You're just being, basically. You're losing track of time. You're in your creativity. You're creating. So taking art class, going and doing pottery, losing yourself in a fiction book, laying down, creating more beauty in your life, maybe going to an art museum, maybe going to a park, taking a bath, just slowing down and decompressing and relaxing and losing yourself in whatever it is that you're doing for the sake of pure enjoyment and just being, because you are also worthy of resting and relaxation. Hold boundaries for yourself specifically, right? Because boundaries are really for you. So it's basically just telling yourself like what it is that you are going to allow into your life and choosing yourself when you are tested in regards to these boundaries. And the ones that I am talking about are for you. So figure out what it is that makes you feel your best and hold yourself to having boundaries around those things. So like, the types of food that make you feel energetic versus, not eating the ones that make you lethargic. How many hours of sleep that you're getting. So that means maybe going to bed a little bit earlier so that you can wake up feeling refreshed and like your best self the next morning. Getting daily movement in, or however many times a week that you feel like you feel your best, moving your body and having that discipline within yourself to show up for yourself and make yourself a priority. Because oftentimes when we're feeling tired, our needs are the ones that we neglect, and we try to numb ourselves by just watching TV or scrolling on social media. And there's nothing wrong doing that sometimes, but it can't be the default. You have to show up for yourself in ways that may take some effort, but have you feeling really good afterwards. Because like, even though like, let's say planning for eating healthy is hard, maybe you have to meal prep at the beginning of the week so that during the week you have, healthy food to eat. That may feel hard, but it's also hard to eat something that's unhealthy and feel really lethargic and tired and having low energy for the rest of the day. So it's just figuring out and choosing your heart and showing up for yourself and holding yourself to the boundaries that help you show up as your best self for you. And you will see that when you start putting yourself first and choosing yourself first, you are going to feel so much more joy and happiness and just a sense of peace in your life. Because when you fill your cup up first, then you can give to people with the excess, because you are just as important as anybody else in your life. And I want you to know that, and I want you to start believing that, because it's true. Your wants, your needs, you as a person, whatever that you want in your life, you are worthy and deserving of it, and you can create it. And you can create it by starting to put yourself first and choosing yourself first. And if you need help with this, I know that when you have a certain way of being, it can be hard to let go of these parts of yourself, but you also deserve to heal these parts of yourself. So if you need help in this process on how you can start putting yourself first, I'll link my discovery form link down below so we can hop on a call and see how I can best support you in this process. I also have a free workbook that you can download as well on how you can start living your life for yourself again. That is also linked down below. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and give the video a like if you found it helpful. Also share it with anybody that you think would benefit from this conversation. Also check out my most recent upload, and I will see you in the next one.